What's going on, friends? It's been kind of a hectic couple of weeks. I changed jobs recently, so congratulations to me there. Nathan, my roommate, is off right now taking his motorcycle exam. Congratulations to him there. He's going to pass with flying colors. And we made just a tremendous amount of progress here on the T100. I've got a couple of things that I'm still working on, and one of them I'm going to show you today. The front hitch on the T100 I specifically had added so that I could utilize the winch that I use on the Ram, and we're going to do the quick disconnect wiring today. The quick disconnect wiring, it can go to anything really. Of course I'm running it to a winch, but it can go to any auxiliary thing that you have that needs power. So I'll go ahead and I will show you that. We'll get started on it, and then hopefully you've been keeping up with some of the other videos that have been coming out. We had a lot for the Nissan. I've got some even more for the motorcycle. And as you can tell, there's very little snow on the ground now, so we're starting to get ready for some riding weather. I know I've said this in previous videos, but everything that you buy on Amazon, when you use my Amazon links that I provide in the description, they directly support the channel. I get a commission on whatever you buy. It does not matter what you buy. You do not have to buy like you don't have to buy the shocks that I've linked or the coolant temp sensor. You can buy whatever you want. You could buy tomato wire. You could buy hubcaps. It doesn't matter. Whatever you buy, if you buy it through my link, directly supports this channel, and that's the only way to support this channel. So if you do like the type of content that we're making and you do want to support us, if you already buy on Amazon, just use my link when you check out. That makes it easy on both of us. So I appreciate it. I'm going to get the camera spun around and we're going to get started. Okay, friends, this is the gist of what we're working with today. You're going to need a winch, obviously. My winch I already have set up with one of the quick disconnects because I've been running it on the Ram, but I do have the quick disconnect here that I want to show you. Now, this one is a mimic of the Anderson style quick disconnects. I could not find the Anderson ones anywhere around me, so I ended up ordering these ones. They do come with both male and female sides. They come with the, I guess there's no male and female, they're just universal. It does come with the end caps, and then it does come with the wire crimps at the end. So you're going to need a kit like this, and I will link it in the description. It also comes with the instructions so you can know which way to put the crimps in. I have hydraulic wire crimpers. And that's because you are going to need them for the way that you crimp onto the end of these things, because it is a bear to crimp down and you cannot do it with a regular crimping tool. And then I have some larger gauge wire from some other projects that I have. This is actually winch wire from a different winch project, so I'm hoping that some of these will be able to be used, and if I have to put them together, then I have to put them together, but it doesn't have to go very far from the battery to where I'm going to be running this wire. So the other thing for me is when you run a winch on an independent cradle and not in the actual bumper itself, I have a hitch pin lock. Anybody with a grinder can get through those, but it keeps people more honest than they necessarily have to be if you don't have one of those. So consider getting a hitch pin lock if you do not already run one. And then I also run one of the stabilizers, which is why I have the Ugga Dugga out, just so that the winch doesn't rattle when I'm driving. And again, it's much harder for somebody to try and extract that winch out of the hitch if it's in the stabilizer lock. So anyways, this is what you need for this particular project. I will spin us around to the front of the vehicle and I will show you what we got going on. Okay, so I did forget a couple of tools I thought I would throw out there. You are going to need some snippers, and then I have just some assorted heat shrink tubing, and then a little torch just so we can tighten them up. I realized it would be easier to keep the wiring portion back here because there's obviously no table or bench on the front end, so just to make things a little bit easier on myself. So here's what we got. I'm going to cut the ends off of one side of each of these wires, and we're going to put the new pieces on there with a little bit of heat shrink going around it. Then I'm going to show you how to install the actual plug. It goes in there. It's hard to see, but there's a there it is. There's a retainer in there that's going to click, and then the lip right there will make it so that it can't pull back out. So I will go ahead and show you what that looks like every step along the way. Okay friends, I took out the X-Acto Boy so that I could cut just enough off of this wire. Wow, I'm dealing with some crazy light right now. Is that better if I turn off my own light? Nope, it's just nature and all of its wonder. Okay, so here's what I got. That, if I hold this at a good enough angle, can you see it? Not really anyways. That's just enough to where when I slide the connector on, it is right up to the end. So I've got one of the connectors in the jaws of life here, and what I'm going to do is slide that in there and give it a couple of good crimps, and then I've got some pre-cut pieces of the shrink hose, and I'm going to slide that over the end, and we're just going to go from there, and I think it will be nice and smooth. Although using this is kind of a bear, so I will not be showing it because that is a type of vulnerability of me that YouTube does not need to see. So I'll get that crimped on. I will mimic the process over here on the other side, and we will go from there. For anyone wondering, this crimper is awesome. It is a Hi-Clat, hope I'm saying that right, and I am using the number 35, I don't know if you, oh, other side. There you go, number 35 crimping dies, and that produces a crimp like this. That is a nice solid crimp. Obviously I can't pull on it with the other hand because I'm holding the camera, but suffice it to say that is a good crimp, and I pulled on it very hard and it's not going anywhere. The other side I have already crimped and put the heat shrink on, so I will mimic that for this side, and then I will show you how they go into the holder. So check back in a sec. Okay, so I went ahead and I slid one side into there, and you can, oh god, maybe you can't. There you have a good view. That one side on the left has the connector in there, and on the right it has the shelf. I don't know if I can do this. Let me see if I can set the camera up real quick in a way where I can show you that, because what you do is you slide the tooth in there until it clicks, and it will make an audible clicking sound. So let me see. Oh, I've got too many adjustments on this damn camera. Okay, please don't bounce the thing. So these have the shape of these is different. So on the one side it's got the bump, and on the other side, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll put it against that black backdrop for you. It has the little piece that's going to grab onto the shelf. So what you want to do is slide that in there so that the bump is on the upward side. So there's the bump, there's the front. I'm going to slide it in there, and I'm going to be quiet, hopefully, so that you can hear the click. Ready? I'll try and show you here. There you go. Did you hear that? Obviously you could see that I was struggling trying not to knock the camera over, but you put these in there with a lot of force, and now this connector is fully pinned, and they give you a little cap to cover it when you're not using it, which is awesome. I use this all the time. In fact, the one on the Ram right now has the cap on there, and then it just gets held on with a little bit of cord, and so you can just pop that on there when you're not using it. And there you go. Okay, so my quick disconnect is now wired up. I'm going to go run it to the battery, and then it does have on the actual, sorry if I just shook the camera right there, it has negative on one side and positive on the other. So when you're hooking this up to your battery, you have the other side, which is on the winch. You can't mix these up. So we are going to clean up the tailgate. I'm going to run up there, and then we're going to get this all plugged in. Stick around. All right, folks, so here's what the whole package looks like when it's done. Obviously, you can see the winch is in its cradle, and the cradle is in the hitch. This is the wiring that comes from the winch, and then the wiring from the battery side. I just have it running, kind of hard to see, but down there comes in back behind the headlight, and then to the battery. So this battery is underpowered, and so is my alternator for this particular winch. So I'm either going to do the upgrades, or I'm going to get a smaller winch for this particular truck. But yeah, that's a quick and dirty way of how to do your quick disconnect clips for any sort of auxiliary powered item that you're going to be running off of your vehicle. So I will unplug this real quick while I've got the title cards, and you'll see how quickly it actually comes apart, and you can walk away with your winch. So yeah, I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned. I got a lot more content coming out.